This week and last week was just too much. What can you take away from it? That I went out of my comfort zone because I'm kicked out of the system. Put a point here as well. Should I stay? Should I leave? What is better for me? Hello and welcome back to Daily Dose of Honest Science. I'm really happy that you are tuning in because I really want to share something with you that recently in the last 2 weeks happened in my life. And I thought, why not sharing it with you and the community? So yeah, let's dive deep into it. If you like the content, please make sure to subscribe and do the bell notification so you get always notified when I upload a new video. And of course, write comments. I would love to read more comments and know you guys a bit more. 2 weeks ago, on the 24th of April, I actually conceptualized, organized and hosted an event that was in German. So the German title was Gemeinsam stark für Prävention, Forschung meets Medizin. The translation would be Together strong for preventive medicine, science meets medicine. And this has been in the making already for about even more than a year. And I felt really the urge to do it, especially as a scientist. And my background, that you can understand why I did it. So when you as a researcher work on specific topics, of course you never can exceed a certain threshold. And for me, I'm always interested in the medical aspect as well. And during the social media time that I'm doing now, I actually got more and more into preventive care and how to optimize your health, but also stay healthy. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have right now in the society, that we are not able to maintain our health. So we are all prone for obesity or type 2 diabetes due to really bad food consumption or food choices that we have, and many aspects which has been shown in the literature and also in research, that if you're doing regular exercises, if you eat properly a lot of fruit and vegetables, that you can prevent or at least delay the onset of many diseases that are associated with cardiovascular diseases or even neurodegenerative diseases. Of course, you have the genetic component, but still, I think there's a lot in your hands that you can do. And I was really into all of these, how medical professionals go out there and be like, you should do more exercises. And I reached out to some of them because I really like what they're doing, and their work is really important because they also spread information on how to do it properly. So the problem that we have right now, and it's not a problem that now came up, it's a problem that already existed a bit onwards, in my opinion, is the misinformation that is happening, especially on social media. So you can write me down in the comments if you are someone who is fact-checking or not. And if you have a medical condition, or if you're not sure about a medical condition, be honest, are you not looking in social media to have the answer for your problem? And this is something that is more and more popping up, especially the younger generation. And the problem is that we have so many experts, and I talked in several of my videos already about this, that we have a lot of people that claim to be experts and are not, and just don't understand the basic biochemistry behind what is happening in your body, and spreading a lot of misinformation. My vision was to have a medical professional and a scientist on one stage, and they talk about a topic that might be not very straightforward for a scientist, but a scientist is actually on the other spectrum. So we work already in a disease model, or at least when we have observations from the clinics, that we look into it, what happened and what is wrong. And I wanted to take a step back and be like, okay, we scientists might want to evaluate new our findings. So can we maybe, or is it possible that a scientist can help to shape a bit more the preventive healthcare system? And in my opinion, yes. Because when you step back from or zoom out from your research perspective, all the findings that you have can be implemented in, I would say, in an action that would maybe not cause certain outcomes. Of course, this is very, it's a bold statement, I would say, but I feel like we are not communicating enough, especially the medical people and the scientific people. And I had the urge to make this event. So I reached out, and it was a lot of organizational stuff, a lot of people who were originally invited didn't make it, which was really unfortunate. But in the end, I was really happy with the people that I had. And I was very proud because I could convince two scientists, one clinician scientist, who's actually a medical doctor but also does research, and someone who's doing basic research. And of course, two medical professionals who are already on social media doing science communication. And for me, that was like one of the best conversations that we had. And I also wanted to have the psychology effect, not effect, but the psychology behind it. So I also asked a psychiatrist, and it was really amazing what kind of really nice conversations we had. It became really like we learned from each other, which is really nice. And towards the end, when we had the panel discussion, so the panel discussion was about many different topics, but maybe I go a bit back so I guide you through. So first, someone spoke, so the psychiatrist spoke, and it was really interesting how they do preventive care and what can be done to do preventive care in the psychology context. Really impressive work, what they have shown. They do research on it, especially in young adults and kids who might have the prevalence of getting depression, and how you can build up a system to actually get the kids out of there, and reduce the risk of getting depression. Next was a really cool clinical trial that is ongoing for many years now about multiple sclerosis. It's an autoimmune disease, and they actually look at twins. So it's a twin study about it, and it was really fascinating how many factors play into the role. And of course, to have a bit kicked out the genetics, we look at twins, and it was really interesting. Next, we had a scientist who is working on Parkinson's disease and has established a really cool protocol where they use induced pluripotent stem cells to differentiate them and study the effect in Parkinson's disease, and what is going wrong in the cells, and which metabolism are not working, and specifically the dopaminergic neurons are the ones that are of interest. And in the end, two medical professionals who do a lot of science communication on social media, but also have YouTube and educate people in German about fear-mongering. So they actually presented, there was this discussion in the German newspapers that omega-3 might lead to a certain heart condition that is not so that you can prevent. You should not take too many supplements, and so on and so on. So they really deduce down what makes or what is meant with the fear and what are the evidences, and in the end they could debunk most of it, which is really amazing. And also talk about their experience in social media, and how we can actually implement this tool to reach out to more people. The overall event was really cool. And then I kicked in another panel discussion because I wanted to talk a bit about why we don't have this specialization of preventive health professionals. So you know that when a doctor is done with its studies, he or she can go into a certain discipline, and there is apparently no preventive care or preventive medicine education. And it was really interesting how or what they talked about. I don't want to list down everything what they did, because so the idea is that we can upload this here on YouTube, so it would be a separate one, so you can actually watch the whole event, maybe a bit cut, but that you can listen to it. And I would like to make a reaction on it because it is in German, so I would make subtitles in English and react on it and explain it to you. So that was the main event, and I was super nervous. I didn't know really what I'm gonna expect. I was sitting there, I think 2 or 3 days before the event, and I was freaking out in my head. And I also needed to put the slides together and send information. And since I'm working in the research field and doing experiments, it was not easy for me. So I was doing experiments, and in between 1 or 2 slides, and I was doing again experiments, and something else was happening. It was a lot, but I was really happy that I did it. And so for me, the main takeaway was that there is need, that we should talk, that we should meet, that we have these conversations, especially science and medicine. And I want to shout out to a person who is working with some sports medicine people. And I had a wonderful evening with her. We went for dinner and we talked a lot about science and medicine and the flaws it has. And in the end, I really hope to have more collaborations also with these guys. But the overall event was very well received, and I did not expect that. So my expectations were kind of low. I was like, hopefully it's gonna go through and people are happy. Unfortunately, not a lot of people were there, but Timo, one of the speakers, actually was correct. He said every person that was there counted. And that really meant a lot to me, because in the end, I think we were about 20-30 people in this event hall. And I was really happy that we got together and had this amazing conversation. Of course, I was a bit sad about one of the social media influencers or medical professionals could not make it. I would have loved also his to hear his opinion, and I really hope that maybe in future we can build up now on this and have more of these collaborations. So I have my little notes here so I don't forget anything. And this is for me like if you do these kind of events, it gives you a feeling of if you're hitting a nerve or not. And I had the feeling, yes, I did. And I was really happy that I could really go through and overcome all my fears, because in this 1 year of, call it preparation or organization, I had often the feeling I should just stop. I just should let it go. I don't want to, because people were not responding to emails, or the date was not perfect for everyone, and the persons that I wanted to have on it unfortunately didn't have time, and I was scared that if I don't have enough people, would people come? Is it anyway interesting? But this event proved me wrong. So all the voices in your head, sometimes you just need to shut down. You just need to do it. And this is a skill that you're learning in the end. So this is also something that I really like, because I learned how to approach people, how to convince them to be there, what is on the organizational side, what do I have to take care of, and all these kind of important topics are tick boxed one after the other, and gave me a huge boost also in my self-confidence. Yeah, and afterwards I was really relieved that everything went well, and I got 1 or 2 messages where people were really happy and thankful that I did this event. And yeah, for me, a huge success, I would say. And I think on that same day, Timo told me that people wrote him and were really eager to know why our university is doing that and not other universities in Germany. And I have to say, it was not the university, it was me. Because I have this very open mind that I want to collaborate, I want to learn. And I think if we don't have these kind of people in the universities, then these kind of events will not happen. So I'm not putting myself out to be now queen of events or being open-minded or so. No, don't get me wrong. What I want to say is we need people who are open-minded, who are willing to go that extra mile, and that we, yeah, I give you my hand, and we both go a certain track together, and we experience really cool stuff. And the feedback also from the clinician scientists, as well from the normal scientists, was really positive, because they said they were really happy that they were part of it. They could also learn something new from them, and that, I think, is the huge win of this event. That was part 1. So if you still liked it till now, if you like these kind of storytelling time things, then just let me know. Just make a like, and also write down in the comments how far have you come. And yeah, then I would start now with story 2. So story 2 also started, I think, February this year, or even a bit earlier. Yes, a bit earlier actually. Last year as well. So the event I'm talking about is, also in German it's called Rein in die Wissenschaft, Chancen und Herausforderungen. In English it would be, if you want to be in science, so what are the what are the possibilities and the risks or obstacles that you have to overcome. And it was on the 30th of April, so I had a really tight schedule, as you can already see. And it was really amazing, because it was not here in Munich. I had to go up to Bielefeld, which is in Nordrhein-Westfalen. The first time for me really going out. So for conferences, okay, if it doesn't count for you, but for me that was one of the major big deals, that I leave my hometown and go there completely not knowing what's gonna happen. And It started last year when I was in a course for positive psychology, and there I met a wonderful person who was working in the social sciences, and she said she wanted to do this event because it's about a German law that affects all working scientists. And I don't want to go too deep into this because it's really complicated, and I don't want to give here any false information. But the short takeaway from here is, we here in Germany, we have a law that currently restricts you to work, not really restricts you. If you're on if you're on a third party funding, which means your PI is writing grants to get these monies, you can still be employed in the academic setting. But if this is not the case and you are actually in the university setting, so you are paid by the university, apparently right now you have in total 12 years to stay. And your PhD time already counts into that. So for instance, you have 6 years done PhD, and you have another 6 years to do maybe 1 or 2 postdocs, depending on the field. Then it could end up that you have to go outside of academia and cannot re-enter. So it means you have to leave research. And this law was intended in the initial run to actually decrease the so the non-permanent positions that we have in academia. So right now I'm also on a non-permanent position. So the problem that our research culture has, we don't have a lot of these permanent positions. So it means that you can stay actually till you retire in the academic setting. That is more likely if you're doing a lot of teaching and if you're a professor. So the law wanted actually to motivate the universities to make more permanent positions, but that did not happen. It actually got the opposite way. We have a lot of non-permanent positions, and many people are dropping out in their mid-40s. You have to imagine, these people might have been group leaders who published and are not in the system anymore because they passed the 12 years. And they are not getting a professorship anywhere, and just have to leave academia. And for me, this is already a big thing, because I think if you worked so long and created results and established even a group, the universities should hire you on a permanent position, and you also did some teaching as well. So you also disrupt somehow the educational system. For, in our case, I'm in the medical faculty right now for medical students. So how can you ensure that teaching is on the top level if you always have changing people, right? If you look back into your school, you always had the same mathematical teachers or biology teachers. It was not changing every few months because someone was dropping out. So this is one of the main problems that we had, and they wanted to talk about this. And the problematic scenery is somehow in the social sciences, apparently a bit more than in natural sciences, what I've seen. And she reached out to me because I said, if you want to have someone who talks about it, feel free to contact me. And initially it was set on February, and I didn't have time for February. And it was also not possible because I think we had some problems, or people could not come or something. So she rescheduled it for April, and then I said, yes, I'm gonna come. So it was a lot for me, I have to say. but it was one of the best experiences that I had after a long time through my academic career. So I was exposed to nearly only social sciences people, and I was the only one somehow representing the natural sciences, and that was a huge honor for me, but also a lot of pressure for myself, because of course I can only speak for biology or biochemistry and molecular biology, but I cannot speak for physics or for chemistry people. It's not that possible, but still I tried to explain what is going on. And it was really interesting because we had these two sides, and we had really sometimes different problems that the law is affecting, and we all concluded in the end. And the really nice thing is, when I went there, it was recorded, and we also had a Zoom meeting, so it was streamed at some point, you could say. And it will be uploaded hopefully soon on a platform, and I can also react on that and make a small summary for you what we discussed. But the main takeaway message is that this specific law is just one little element that you have, and it's not the only one. So we all agreed we need a change of our scientific system. So the scientific system in Germany is corrupt, is at its end. And if we want to continue to be working with scientists all around the world and make really cool science, we need to start to think how we treat our people. And this is not something that I came up. It's something that I experienced myself, and it's also something that I see. So for me, it's very, very important that we all have the opportunity to grow ourselves. And the academic system right now does not really favor that. And the main thinking of this whole, academic system, I don't know if this is true for any other country, but in Germany, it's more like if you're in the academic system, you have to become a professor. I think that's wrong. We have to think a bit more wider. So again, this perspective of zooming out. So in my opinion, I think what we need to do is to offer new opportunities to stay in academia as a permanent scientist. And one of these could be to establish new work profiles. So we need new job opportunities or new job profiles for scientists. One would be science manager, for instance, or lab manager, which is really important, or project manager. Because sometimes I have the feeling that a professor has to do all these jobs, and he or she are sometimes really frustrated and overworked. So I think giving this task to someone else so they can be a bit more on the teaching side again, but also take care of their people in their lab makes it a bit more easier for them. But also something that is coming up is the so-called core facilities. What do I mean with core facilities? This is something that is important where I'm working right now. So this professor is really engaged in promoting these core facilities. So you have to imagine we in the natural sciences work with a lot of instruments, right? And these instruments are, first of all, very expensive, and they need some people who take care of them because they are running from morning to the night, 24/7, 365 days a year. You have to maintain the machines, you have to calibrate the machines, you have to measure your stuff. And the idea was if we would have a local point where people could come, just submit their sample, get the results, but all the maintenance is done by a scientist who is permanent this can actually help to establish more collaborations, but also to lower the costs, of course, because you have to imagine a group leader buying the same machine for beginning $500,000 to $3 million or even more. It's very expensive, and in the end you don't have someone who can actually run the machine. And it makes sense to make these local stations that people can use on a campus. And it's so sad because I know someone who is right now, or did establish, a really nice core facility for clinical samples, and she is not permanent. She has done so much work to get this facility running and having all these collaborations with doctors and many other scientists in the clinical settings. And it really breaks my heart to think about that she has to leave only because the law is at some point coming, and that she now has to think of what she wants to do next. I really liked that we talked about different facets at this event, and we also talked about how it has to change. And one important thing that I should mention is it was really nice that we had someone from the political side, so someone who's also involved in the new law. And what will be the new law about? They're cutting down the time. Means you're even less and much more fluctuation will happen. And I think it was really nice to tell her what they're doing is not correct, and especially that they should talk to us and talk about what kind of problems do we have and how can we maybe change that. I think that was really nice. We might have the impact to tell the politicians out there, no, don't do it. Please talk to us first. We need to make certain changes. And I really enjoyed, and they were really happy that I joined, because the social sciences always tell people that the natural sciences are not going along with them, which I don't understand why, but I know for a fact that there were many people asked, especially males as well, which didn't want to come. So yeah, you can already imagine. So for me, this was a no-brainer. I think in this we have to be together, all sciences that we have in Germany, and tell them, hey, the law is shit. It's not helping us to create more permanent positions. And actually the universities, but also the third-party funding organizations like the DFG, so the Deutsche Förderungsgesellschaft, they need to step up and think about what criteria do we have to give money to the people. And I propose, because teaching is something that is getting less and less and less, because there's this discrepancy between you do research, but yeah, teaching is okay, fine, yeah. And when I joined and I have the opportunity to teach actually medical students, I want to do it right. That because I imagine the people that are in the front of me are the next generation of doctors. And if I don't do my job correctly, what will be the takeaway for them, right? So they won't be as good in all the basic sciences. So they might not understand well the biochemistry, they don't understand the molecular biology, and many new advancements actually need the basis of all these fundamental research that we did already and fundamental mechanisms that we found out. And if we are not doing it, then a doctor will not understand why this CRISPR-Cas makes magic inside a patient. So I think it's really important that to tell them and what is DNA and how gene expression works and why is it different in maybe disease state. So, and if I cannot do it because I'm kicked out of the system, it makes life much harder. And to put a point here as well, this toll that I'm taking, should I stay, should I leave, what is better for me, because I also have to think of myself, right? I cannot be all the time thinking of I'm doing it for society. In the end, I also have to live from it, to say it bluntly, right? So I also have to live at some point. Or do you think it's good that I sacrifice my life, right? So I think these important questions we have to address, and I think we did a good job there. So now you are at the end of the video already. So what can you take away from it? That I went out of my comfort zone. And I've written down some key points that I would like to share with you. One thing is, small steps make a lot of a difference. So if you want to achieve a certain goal, it's always good to take step by step. I'm also someone who likes to jump from one stair to the other, but sometimes it's not possible because you're not advanced enough to do it, or the gap is much bigger. So you need to create a ladder that you can go step by step. So that's one of the main takeaway from both events that I had, that doing these small steps reach to your goal. Then very importantly, when you do something, do it for yourself. Don't do it for society. Don't do it for your parents. Don't do it for your sister or brother or any friend. Do it for yourself. I did this for myself because I wanted to grow. I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and experience something new. And I think that is much more valuable than doing something that you're not passionate about, and maybe that you're not 100% behind it. Then the experience will also not be that amazing. And if you do it for yourself, you can be really proud of you, and you can touch your shoulder and say, I did it, I'm amazing. New connections that you have throughout. So for instance, the first story, I just went to this course, randomly met her, and suddenly I was one of the biggest discussions that this country has to have in the scientific community. So my takeaway was, new connections lead to new horizons, lead to new possibilities that in the end influence you positively. So that was also something really groundbreaking for me, or eye-opening. You might be sitting there and be like, but Chania, I know that already. Good for you. I didn't know that. So that is something that I will try to continue, that I always try to make more connections and reach out to people and ask them if they want to talk about a certain topic, so we all can learn something from it. From my event, but also from the event in Bielefeld, I took away collabs are the strongest implicator of for changes, I would say. So if I wouldn't have collaborated, if I wouldn't have said yes, I wouldn't have actually saw a difference, or at least would have heard that people really like what I'm doing. And that really gives me a feedback of really, I'm doing really good stuff, and that resonates in me, then okay, I'm on the right path. So if you collaborate a lot or seek out new experiences, I guess that will definitely help you. I think the most pronounced point in the end here is the personal development and the experience that you have later in your life. So what do I mean with that? These 2 weeks were packed. They were a lot of stress for me. My body was really shaking a lot. I couldn't sleep correctly. But in the end, the personal development that I had, that I went out and drove through the whole country upwards, and also had this event where I gave the hand to people who are actually outside of academia, because academia also doesn't like if they take people from outside, because it's not seen. It should always stay in this little bubble, and I don't want to be in this bubble. I want to break out, see something new, maybe pull out other people from their bubble and tell them, hey, there's another world which you can explore, right? This should be the main purpose in life, that we explore a lot and learn a lot and have a fulfilled life. And I think that is the biggest main takeaway from my leaving my comfort zone, I would say. So we are at the end of my video. It's more like a real talk video. So thanks a lot for staying so long. Hopefully it will be not too long. Maybe just very quickly, I'm sorry that I couldn't make it, and I always say I make every week a video. It's not possible right now. So I really appreciate your patience, but also I hope that this video helps you a bit, and you found it interesting. And whenever I have both videos ready for you, of course I will upload them, and also leave down in the comments the link to the original videos if you're interested. So we see us in the next video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and a little comment. Apparently, I don't know why, but the algorithm just picks me up when I have comments. And I also did a new podcast episode. And this time it's really cool, because I'm not going to tell you. No. You will see who is the guest. I think you will be really excited. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever your time you're watching this. And I think you know what is coming now. As always, let a little dose of honest science in your life and brighten up your day.